Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Farish Aiman bin Adi, number metric 1232666. Our project is entitled Match Shield Automated Football Player Performance Profiling and Disciplinary Audit System. In modern football, coaches and team managers rely heavily on the player statistics to evaluate individual performance and determine the best team lineup. A player contribution is not measured only by goal score, but also by assist, tackle, save, playing time, and disciplinary records such as yellow and red cards. However, analyzing all of these statistics manually can be very challenging, especially when dealing with many players and multiple performance indicators. Coaches need a system that can process data quickly, consistently, and accurately to support better decision making. To address this issue, we developed MatchShield, an automated system written in our programming. The system combines player performance, evaluation, and disciplinary auditing into a single function call. It automatically calculates performance scores, classifies player, and according to their performance level, evaluates disciplinary risks, generates visualization, and provides recommendation for coaches and team managers. Overall, MatchSheet helps transform raw football statistics into meaningful insight that support objective and data-driven football management. Now, I would like to explain the problem statement. Currently, many football coaches and team managers still evaluate players manually by reviewing match statistics one by one. This process is not only time-consuming but also inconsistent because different evaluators may interpret the same data differently. In addition, manual evaluation increases the possibility of human error, particularly when managing large amount of player information. Another issue is that player performance and disciplinary records are often analyzed separately. A player may perform exceptionally well but receive many yellow or red cards, which can negatively affect the team's performance. Without combining both aspects into one analysis, it is difficult for coaches to make balanced decisions. Furthermore, there is lack of an integrated system that can automatically analyze player statistics, classify performance levels, detect disciplinary risks, and provide recommendations in one process. This means coaches must spend additional time performing calculation and preparing reports manually. Therefore, our project proposed MatchShield, which automated the entire analysis process with just one function called. The system performs player performance profiling, disciplinary auditing, summary statistics, and graphical visualization while producing recommendations for decision making. This makes the evaluation process faster, more reliable, more consistent, and more objective for football team management.
Next, I will explain the objective of our project. The main objective of this project is to develop a player profiling and disciplinary audit system that helps coaches and team managers analyze players more efficiently. Specifically, the system aims to automate player performance analysis by calculating a performance score based on key statistics such as goals, assists, and defensive contribution. It will then classify players according to their performance level, making it easier for coaches to evaluate their strengths and weaknesses. In addition, the system performs a disciplinary audit by analyzing player records such as yellow and red cards. It also generates visualization and summary statistics to present the result in a clear and understandable way. Finally, the system provides recommendations through a single function call, allowing coaches and managers to make faster and more informed decisions. Moving on to the data description. The dataset used in this player consists of player performance statistics from a university football team. It contains data for 80 players collected over one season, providing a comprehensive overview of each player's performance. The dataset includes important variables such as the number of appearances, goals, assists, steals, disciplinary records, and other key performance metrics. These variables are used to calculate performance score, classify players into different performance categories, and evaluate their disciplinary records. Overall, this dataset provides sufficient and reliable information to support the development of our profiling and disciplinary audit system, while ensuring that the analysis and recommendation produced are meaningful and useful for coaches and team management. That's all for the objective and data description.
My name is Muhammad Zakwan bin Rosli, number matrix 1232650. So for the methodology, um, our main function is by using for loop for data validation. For example, we will iterate every single data column uh, to check for their validity. For example, if they have like a missing column, we will annotate that we will stop pasting the missing required columns, um, and if the column have zero data, then we will label them as the data set is empty, so that if there is any function that apply to them, it doesn't generate like a missing value or inappropriate value. So next, our next methodology in here is by using if else, and as you can see in the data, for example, we're using if else in the data in assessing the performance scoring. For example, if you play forward, we don't expect you to do defensive job. We expect you to do some attacking chance or goals contribution. So your score will be depends on what your role is. So we're using if else methodology here because it just assign appropriate performance scoring depends on your job. For example, if you play forward, you will expect to do more goals and to do more assists, and will be given scoring depends on that. If you play like a defender, you will be assessed by some parameters such as tackles and stand tackles and typical defense movement. So our next methodology, we are using while loop function, and this is for data cleaning. So for example, um, if we check that the numeric column, the value itself is negative, then we cannot really have like negative goals or negative save or something. So we will just turn the negative value to zero using a while loop where they will check every single negative numeric values and turn them into zero. And our next that methodology is visualization itself, and we do have some plot here. For example, plot for player performance rating and the name of player itself. We also have plot for yellow cards by player. We also have the plot for distribution of performance score itself, how much frequency they score. And we also have goals versus assists to check whether the efficiency of their attack is enough or not. So that's all for me.
Next, I will be presenting about the results generated by our match field function, which is the last part. It's me, Ibrahim Rashidi bin Khairil, with matrix number 123669. I will be putting here all the results that have been generated by the function. As you can see, there is 4 graphs: player performance ratings, yellow cards by players, distribution of performance scores, and goals versus assists. Once the dataset is entered into the function, all analysis and visualization are produced automatically with just a single function call. As you can see here, it is the 4 graph. The first graph is the player performance rating bar chart. This graph compare the overall performance of each player. As we can see that Aiman has the highest performance rating, followed by Fidaus and Daniel, indicating that they made the greatest contribution based on the performance criteria used in our function. On the other hand, players like Faris and Nabil received lower ratings, suggesting that their overall contributions was relatively lower. This graph allows coaches to quickly compare the performance of every player. The second graph, which is the yellow cards by player, shows the number of yellow cards received by each player. This is the part of our disciplinary audit. From the graph, as we can see that Hakim received the highest number of yellow cards, while Khalid and Faris also recorded relatively high values, although it is significantly lower. In contrast, Nabil did not receive any yellow cards, showing good disciplinary behavior. This information helps coaches to identify players who may be at risk of suspension due to repeated bookings. The third graph is a histogram of performance scores. It shows how the performance scores are distributed across the team. Most of the players fall within the middle range, while only a few players achieve a very high scores. This gives coaches an overall picture of the team performance level instead of just focusing on an individual players. Finally, the last graph is the scatter plot compares
goals and assists for each player. Each point represents one player, which, as you can see, player in the upper right area contribute both more goals and assists, making them a more important attacking players. For example, Aiman scored the highest number of goals while also providing several assists, demonstrating a strong attacking contribution. Meanwhile, players that are closer to the bottom left contributed fewer goals and assists. Overall, in conclusion, that this visualization transforms raw football statistics into a meaningful insight. Together with the player classifications, disciplinary audit, and recommendation generated by the match will function, they can help coaches evaluate player performance, monitor disciplines, and support better decision making in a faster and more systematic way.
Okay, next we move to the practical value. So this study helped coaches to select the best lineup based on objective data. So the coaches can see the player performance ratings and select the best lineup for their team. So it also identifies players that needing disciplinary attention based on yellow cards by players. It also saves time by automating repetitive analysis, supports data-driven decision-making, and easily extendable with more metrics such as interceptions, minutes played, fitness ratings, and etc. So for the conclusion, this machine successfully automates player performance profiling, disciplinary auditing using R. It integrates control structures, loops, data processing, visualization, and analytical outputs in one function call. So this ensures fast, consistent, and reliable analysis to support data-driven decisions in football management.